Almost everyone who was alive in early to mid-2000s know who Britney Spears is. And if you don't know who she is, you're about to. Britney Jean Spears was born December 2nd in 1981 in McCobb, Mississippi. She was the middle child between her older brother Brian and her younger sister Jamie Lynn. Her parents, Lynn and James Spears, raised their children as Baptists, which Britney took very seriously. When Britney was a child, she performed for house guests in front of her TV. It wasn't until Britney was about 8 when she began to go to auditions. She auditioned for the all-new Mickey Mouse Club when she was 8, but didn't get casted. She, however, did go on to the American TV talent show Star Search when she was 10. Though Britney didn't win on Star Search, when she was 11, she tried out again for the cast of the all-new Mickey Mouse Club, and this time she was casted. She was casted along other big acts in the early 2000s like Justin Timberlake and Christina Aguilera. The show lasted 2 seasons before it was canceled, leaving Britney to search for another opportunity. When Britney was 15, she signed a record deal with Jive Records and released her debut single, Baby One More Time, in 1998. She began to perform in malls all over the country and soon had a huge fan base. In the beginning of 1999, Britney dropped her debut album of the same name as her debut single. It peaked at number 1 on the Billboard charts. In April of 1999, Spears appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone. On the cover, she is depicted laying down while on the phone, cuddling a purple Teletubby in a bra and sleep shorts. All the photos were taken at Spears' house in Louisiana. One picture is taken in what looks to be a little girl's room, and in another she's in a high school cheerleader uniform, and in another she has the word baby written on the back of her shorts. Spears was 17 years old when these photos were taken and published. In 2000, Britney went on to open for the Grammys, but she was sadly beaten by Christina Aguilera for Best New Artist. In May of the same year, Britney released her sophomore album, Oops, I Did It Again. The lead single sharing the title with the album peaked at number 1 on the Billboard charts. Britney would continue to have success, but somewhere during this time, she was dating Justin Timberlake. When the couple split, the terms were said to be mutual, but Justin then released a single with a music video called Cry Me a River, where Britney lookalike is depicted as a cheater. This caused more problems than needed. It was at this point in her career that everybody began to turn against her. She would be bombarded with questions in interviews about whether or not she was still a virgin, what happened between her and Justin, did she cheat on him, and she wasn't just asked this on TV interviews or even on radio. She was also getting asked these questions while having bright flashing cameras shoved in her face. In 2004, she began dating and soon married Kevin Federline. She had her first son, Sean, in 2005, and not too long after was pregnant again with her second son, Jaden. After finding out she was pregnant again, she was hounded by the paparazzi. There is a sequence of photos where Britney is crying with one of her sons in her arms as she is trying to get away from the paparazzi. She had tried to go into a business to seek haven from the cameras, but was laughed at. After the birth of her second son, Britney filed for divorce in 2007. 2007 is a very wild year for Britney. She was in and out of mental hospitals. She was fighting for the custody of her children. She was dealing with mobs of people carrying cameras who grabbed and shoved cameras in her face. In February, Britney called Esther's haircutting studio after closing and asked for a haircut. She and the mob of paparazzi went to the salon and she asked to have her head shaved. The hairstylist was not on board and told her no, to which Britney responded by picking up the electric razor and doing it herself. The reason Britney gave as to why she did it was because she didn't want anyone to touch me. Later in the same month, Britney went to see her children, which had been taken away from her as she is seen as an unfit mother. She and a friend go to Federline's home, and Britney buzzes, but he doesn't let her in. 2 paparazzi knew where she was and went to find her. Britney and the friend pulled into a gas station. The friend goes inside, and the 2 photographers come out and begin to film and take pictures of Britney. While this is happening, the photographers are telling her how concerned they are about her and how after a few pictures, they'll leave. The friend comes out, urges them to leave Britney alone. Britney gets out of the car, grabs an umbrella, and charges at the photographers and breaks one of their SUV windows. In the same year, Britney's father, James, or Jamie, Spears, gets involved in his daughter's career. Before 2007, Jamie really wasn't a part of his daughter's career, mainly because Britney could maintain it on her own. But in 2007, she couldn't. Her father got a conservatorship over his daughter. A conservator is a person or official or institution designated to take over and protect the interests of the incompetent. There are two types of conservatorships, general and limited. A general conservatorship is when a person doesn't have the ability to take care of themselves and their finances because of an illness or an accident. These are usually given to elderly people. A limited conservatorship is similar, but instead of an illness or an accident, it is a developmental disability. In Britney's case, she is under a general conservatorship. She does not have say in her money, her health, and definitely not her career. In 2008, Britney came back into the spotlight with her album Circus. The album put out 4 singles, which all charted, and the album itself also made it to #1 on the Billboard charts. In the same year, a documentary was made, Britney for the Record. In the film, Britney talks about the conservatorship and what she thinks about it. Spears has said, "There's no excitement, there's no passion. I have really good days, and then I have bad days. Even when you go to jail, you know there's a time where you're gonna get out. But in this situation, it's never ending. It's just like Groundhog Day, every day." She continues saying, "I think it's too in control. If I wasn't under the restraints I'm under, I'd feel so liberated. When I tell them the way I feel, it's like they hear, but they're not really listening. I never wanted to be one of those prisoner people. I always wanted to feel free." Though the chances of a conservatorship being flipped are slim, back in February of this year, Britney did go to court, and the court agreed with one of her requests, and that was to place a financial company, Bessemer Trust, with equal partnership with Jamie, her father, on the conservatorship. Recently, another documentary has been made, this time without the involvement of Britney's current team, but those of her pre-conservatorship. It's called Framing Britney Spears, and it's by the New York Post. The film is about how the media has affected Spears from an outsider's perspective and talks about how the #FreeBritney movement, put together by fans of the pop star. #FreeBritney movement is about trying to turn over the conservatorship with Britney. In the documentary, they ask a lawyer how a conservatorship could be flipped. The conservatee must prove to be competent and of sound mind. It is also asked if a conservatorship has ever been flipped, and the answer is no, never.